Hello, everybody. Welcome on to episode 2, week 2, NFL Fantasy Football Futures Pickem Show. We're just going to go over all the games and kind of give our thoughts. It's not going to be too much, just kind of a quick little episode to see if you're thinking about these games, what we would take. You can either fade us. I mean, last week, if you were betting with me, you're going to fade me for sure. If you were betting with Tim, you're going to ride what he was betting. But we're just going to go down the list, and then at the very end of this episode, we're going to give you 3 picks each. A favorite, underdog, money line, and then our locks for the week. So be sure to stay in tune for that. But let's go ahead and just start right into it, going with some of the games. First game that I got on here is Bills -3 at the Dolphins with the over-under set at 47.5. What do you got here, Tim?
So this is going to be a pretty interesting game for me. I think that I'm actually trying to find this game. There it is. Dolphins had kind of snuck out a win with Damian Harris getting that fumble, and then the Bills didn't have that great of game. Dolphins are at home now against the Bills. Bills kind of have a bad taste in their mouth leaving Buffalo with the loss. They were at Buffalo, right?
Yes, yeah. Buffalo up 10-2 and they lost. So
I'm actually going to go Dolphins +3 in this week. I think it will be a close game, a very close game actually. Dolphins could sneak out a win or something where the Bills have to drive down and kick a field goal to win by 1 or 2 points. So I'm actually liking Dolphins +3, and I'm going to go with the over because I think both offenses will have a little bit of a bounce back week, and it should be a little bit of a high scoring game.
So do you think Dolphins have a chance to win outright here?
I think they do.
So, Miami money line was +140. So, if you're looking and you think that's a good underdog money line to go after, well, I would look at that. But for me, I'm taking the Bills at -3. I think they're going to come out firing. I think Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and them are going to be all over the field. And you're going to see a little bit of what we expected to see out of their offense. I like the Bills -3, and I do like the over as well at 47.5. I feel like that's a little low for this game, but based on the games last week, I could see it. The Dolphins have a lot better defense than what people think. I mean, people forgot they were top 10 defense last year, and I feel like people just kind of wrote them off, and they showed last week why they got a bunch of turnovers, and there's definitely a good team and a good defense, but I think the Bills defense and the Bills offense is going to be a little too much for Tua and the Dolphins, so I'm going to take Bills at -3, but I do see this over hitting at 47.5.
So do I. If when I'm picking whatever number one, I would like the over more than anything.
Oh, 100%. And I just feel like, based off of last week, a lot of these overs are set pretty low.
So
I feel like
I noticed all the early games are all under 50, and all the games that are late afternoon are all over 50. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see. So here's one So Bills -3 over 47.5. You have Dolphins +3 over, and then looking at Miami's at +142 for money line. For the next game I have here is 49ers -3 at the Eagles with the over/under set at 50. To me, Eagles, yes, they showed like they're very good, but I think the NFC West is the best division in football. They have the best teams. Some of the best coaches, young coaches too. I love Kyle Shanahan. I think he is one of the smartest OCs out there. And he can make any offense look great. So I like 49ers -3. And the over-under to me is interesting here at 50. I see the 49ers scoring a lot of points, and I think the Eagles might make it a game. So I'm actually going to take the over with that.
Yep, so I'm on board with you, both of those. I think it's -3 49ers. I think this over hits really easily. I think the Eagles on offense are better than you think. Hurts is a better quarterback than everyone thinks. So I think it's going to be a lot like the score of the 49ers against the Lions. I can see it being a 60 to 70 point game total for this matchup. So I do like the 49ers -3. I think everyone's on the Eagles a little bit too much just because they played the Falcons. So I think this 49ers win by maybe a touchdown, maybe 6 points, something like that.
I think they win by 10.
Really?
I think 49ers are just that good, and I think a lot of people are overreacting because they did play the Falcons, but I have always liked Jalen Hurts. To me, I don't know why the Eagles are so down on him. He brings such a different aspect to that offense. But I just feel like 49ers are going to outcoach them, and they're going to win based on their offense putting up a lot of points. They're going to win by putting more points than the other team on the board.
They score more points than the other team.
Pretty good take right there. So then with that, we both have 49ers -3 in the over at 50. Then we'll move into the Raiders at the Steelers, with the Steelers being the favorites at 6.5 here, and the over-under being set at 47.5 points.
So I really love the Steelers -6.5. I think that offensively they're going to have a better time this week than they did last week. Raiders defense not as good as the Bills. The Bills up front actually were pretty good against the Steelers, and it just made it life difficult. They weren't able to run the ball. They won because it was a defensive touchdown or a fumble, or I forgot exactly what it was.
The forced fumble that they call it.
I think the Steelers will win this game by a touchdown. If this goes over 7 points, though, if it's like 7.5 to 8, I would probably switch back to the Raiders. So I would get this now when it's under 7 at 6.5. Get it 6 at some places. Get that there because I really like that. Really like that for the Steelers.
So I'm gonna go opposite of you here. I'm taking the Raiders at +6.5.
Okay.
I think they played solid enough, and I think they'll be able to play a little like they'll stay in the game. I think that you'll see the game. The Steelers will be in control the whole time, but I think the Raiders will just be there,
There at the end.
sticking around. Well, hey, we're not going away. We're down 14. Here's a touchdown. Here's this, and I would probably buy the half point and go Raiders +7 here because I think they can lose by a touchdown or less, and so I like the Raiders. I'm gonna buy the half point and take them at +7. That over under, I don't want to touch because I just don't know.
Yeah, that's a little bit difficult. Raiders' offense didn't look great until the end. I just think the Steelers are going to be able to stop Waller, be able to, if you hit him right at the beginning, kind of make him uncomfortable, and make Derek Carr throw the ball to someone else. The Raiders are not going to compete with the Steelers. So I think that's what's going to happen. That's why I go with the Steelers.
I just think, and the Steelers we saw last week, their pass rush is just, I said it on the last one, I'll say it again. Melvin Ingram was one of the biggest signings for a defense this offseason that was not talked about. He looked very good, opposite side of T.J. Watt, because you saw it with Arizona. Chandler Jones looked great because of the addition of J.J. Watt. T.J. Watt's going to get less double teams now, or if they don't, that just leaves a former All-Pro in Melvin Ingram to get that. So,
and that Raiders offensive line is
not great. So that's why. But I just think they're going to stick in the game. John Gruden's what they're going to do, and they're going to lose by a touchdown or less. So Raiders +7 for me, buying that half point, and then you got Steelers at -6.5.
Yes,
and we're staying away from the over/under right here. Next game we got Texans at Browns, where the Browns are favored at -12.5, and the over/under set at 48.
I hate betting against big numbers, so I'm actually taking the Texans +12.5. I can see the Browns are going to win this one, but I can see the Browns kind of going up 2 touchdowns late, and then the Texans getting a late time touchdown or a field goal to get that under 12.5. And so I actually like the Texans +12.5. I'm not overreacting. Texans are bad, but with this big of a number, I'm taking them because of those last minute backdoor covers that I can see happening for this game.
Okay, and I get that. I do get that. And I also don't like betting big spreads because it's the NFL. They're professional athletes. They're a lot better than we think.
But it's the Texans.
But the Browns, to me, I think look like I think they're going to win the AFC North, and I think they're the only team that I think will consistently compete against the Chiefs because of that run game. And I think the Browns run away with it. I think that defense is underrated. I think they're very good. I think they're going to force turnovers, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball down their throat, and it's just going to be too much, and I think the Browns here do cover the spread at -12.5. So I'm going to take the Browns at -12.5. I just think they're going to be too much for the Texans, and I think there's going to be a lot of overreaction with the Texans, and a lot of people are going to take them plus, but I think the Browns just smoke them here.
Yeah, I can see the Browns being pissed off and losing that game to the Chiefs and just wanting to show how good they are and just really showing it to the Texans. I just hate the 12 to 12.5. I hate big numbers,
Yep.
so I'm going with that. I also like the over in this game.
At 48?
Yes, I do. That when the Texans score that sneak touchdown, the cover, they're also getting the over with that touchdown.
So it'll be like 42 nothing, then they score, and that's
It's gonna be
49.
49, exactly.
Perfect. That's all you need. All right. So I'm not touching that. I'm just gonna stick with the Browns at minus 12.5, and you got Texans at plus 12.5, and then the over.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's move on over to New Orleans at minus 3.5 at the Panthers this week. Over under to me, this one was set pretty low. I thought was 44.5 points.
Out of all these picks, I love the over. I
That's-
love over. Panthers defense is not the best. I think they just look better because against a bad Jets offense.
I don't know. I think you're underselling the Panthers defense some. I think they're a lot better than you think
do
they
think
are.
they're better.
You think about last year, they won. They lost.
They had a lot of close games.
They lost a lot of games
that.
by 7 or less. So to me, it's just, and they weren't like high scoring games all the time. They were some low scoring games. So to me, I think the over will hit for sure. This is where I was with you on that one. But I think they're a lot better than what people think they are. And Saints aren't going to do what they did to the Packers here.
They're not going to. I can see the Saints still putting up a lot of points because they have Kamara. It's Kamara versus McCaffrey. So 2 touchdowns apiece from each of them. I think it's a high scoring game. When it comes to the spread, though, I think this is a very good.
This is a tough spread.
It's a tough one.
It's tough to me.
If I just don't like. My heart's with the Panthers, but I just think.
I can see Saints winning by 10. I can also see Panthers.
If you're going Saints, buy that half point. Get that -3 because I think this is going to be a very close game.
That's what. Yeah, I agree. I think. Well, I think it's either going to go one way or the other. I think the Saints win by 10 to 14, or they're going to win by a field goal or less. So I think it's a very tough game. I love the over in this one, and I would stick away. I'm just not going to mess with the spread. I think it's going to be a lot closer, especially it being at the Panthers.
Yep.
So to me, it's going to be closer to what everybody thinks. So I take the over here at 44.5, and I mean these overs after week 1 are just.
There were only 5 overs hit last week, so I think there's going to be more hit this week.
Oh, yeah, I think we'll see more from offenses and everything. So we're both just going to take the over, and if you're taking the Saints, might as well buy that half point, get down to 3. So we got that. So both hitting over, and then buying half point if you need it for the Saints at -3.
Yep.
Next, we have the Vikings at the Cardinals, with the Cardinals favored -3.5, over/under set at 50.5. This one I think is very tough. I love the over at 50.5 points here.
Yep, so do I. I was going to say, we're loving a lot of overs this week. I do think a lot more overs are going to hit, like I just said. I think the Vikings have a bounce back week, but they're not going to cover. If you said 3.5,
3.5 against.
if I'm going Cardinals, but I'm buying the half point and I'm getting that -3. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Vikings will bounce back, but their defense is not as good as people thought they were. And I think the Cardinals again are going to kind of do what they did against the Titans and score a lot of points. So I'm going with the Cardinals, buying a half point -3, and going with the over.
Okay, and this is where I'm actually going to go over/under, or not over 50.5, and I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm going to keep that spread at -3.5.
You're just going to keep it?
Yeah,
okay.
There's one man on the Cardinals I think is going to be a problem, and that's DeAndre Hopkins over and over again. They just don't have enough defensively, I think, for the Vikings to stop him, Kirk and Green, as well as that Kyler Murray running threat. So to me, I'm taking.
So you think it's going to be the Cardinals going to win by at least by a touchdown? Probably.
I
right?
think around a touchdown is what they'll win by. I think it'll be close, but then the Cardinals will pull away at the end. So I like Cardinals at -3.5, and I like the over in this game.
Yep, and then I'm buying the half point, so I'm getting Cardinals -3 because I think I can see this being a 4 to 5 point, or even a Cardinals kicking a field goal at the end and winning by 3. So that's why I'm buying half point, and then I like the over 50.5.
All right, and then let's move on to the last game that I have here for us. There's more games we know, but those are going to be involved in our picks. We got Falcons at the Bucks, another big spread with the Bucks favored at 12.5 points. Over under set at 52.5. Falcons plus 500 here, by the way.
Yep. So actually on DraftKings they're plus 550 now.
Well, there you go.
I just said earlier I don't like buying or like betting big spreads. I'm going with the big spread. I'm going Bucks minus 12.5 here. I think it's easily a 2-touchdown win. I don't even think when the Falcons are passing the ball a lot and it's the fourth quarter, they're even going to score a touchdown. I just think that the Bucks are just so much better than the Falcons. I do like the over, though. I'm going over with the 51.5 also.
That's what I don't know. I want to take the Falcons here, plus 12.5, and this is the only way I'm thinking. I think the Bucks are going to play down a little bit to their competition. We saw a little bit last year where they would keep teams in games that they should not be in games with, like Detroit. To me, I don't know. I want to take the Bucks.
Falcons are bad.
I know. They got smoked against the Eagles, but this is why I'm going to take the Falcons. Plus 12.5 here.
But
listen.
Our how we think between the Texans and Browns and the Bucks and the Falcons. Because exactly how you think of the Falcons, that's how I think of the Texans.
Yeah, but it's different because the Browns are better.
Better than the Buccaneers?
Yep. Falcons, in my opinion.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
Falcons, to me.
Oh, boy.
I think they're going to do something stupid, and they're going to stay in this game long enough to mess around and get a backdoor cover. They'll be down 21, down 17. They'll score a touchdown late, some trash touchdown, garbage time TD, and we'll get that backdoor cover this week. So I'm taking Falcons at plus 12.5.
Exactly what I think.
Not touching the over-under, though. Not going to touch that.
I think that's a big over. I think it's going to be 40-20.
All right, so we agree to disagree here.
Yep.
So I got Falcons at plus 12.5. You have Bucks at minus 12.5 and the over. Sunday night game. Chiefs minus 3.5 at the Ravens. Over under set at 54.5. I love Chiefs here. Minus 3.5. I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm not even buying that.
Mahomes, Kelsey.
Like the smart better
Hill.
have points there just in case, but I love the Chiefs.
I don't care. Chiefs are good.
Yep. Ravens are bad.
Pisses me off watching the Chiefs, but well, I get sick and tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes roll right, throw across his body, which you're never supposed to do, and then just little man, Tyreek Hill, fast human being alive, just being there, catching every ball, scoring touchdowns. So, Chiefs to me, minus 3.5, easy. I like them. Over under, not sure yet. Monday night game, who you got here? Lions at the Packers, minus 11.
I'm going Lions plus 11.5. Packers, I know they're going to be bouncing back. They're at home Monday night. I just don't think it's a big spread again. I think they still have a little bit of issues they need to work out. I can see the Lions kind of sticking around or doing exactly what they did against the 49ers and scoring a lot of those points at the end. I love the over, though.
Fair enough.
I don't think I took an under, but I love the over.
I like Packers minus 11 here.
Yeah, of course I do.
I just think it's going to be a pretty big bounce back week for them against the Lions. I don't know. I like Packers minus 11 here.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I do. I like Packers minus 11. All right, so those are all our little rundowns of each game. Go ahead, Tim. Give us your favorite, your dog, and then your lock.
So, favorite back-to-back weeks. I'm going the Broncos minus 6 over the Jaguars. Jaguars looked terrible against a very bad Texans team, made them look super good when the Texans aren't. I think the Jaguars have a lot of issues right now that they need to work out. Broncos defense is better than the Texans. They're going to shut down that run game. Trevor Lawrence still has some stuff he needs to work out. Broncos by at least a touchdown, probably more.
Okay, then your underdog?
My underdog, I am going with the Bengals over the Bears. So I like money line. I think it's going to be, this is -2 and +2 is what the spread is. For a Bears home game against, you would think, a bad Bengals team, that'd be a lot bigger. I think Vegas knows something different here, and I think the Bengals offense might be a little bit better than everyone thinks. So I'm actually going with the Bengals money line. And then you want to do my lock, or do you want to do your
I'll do my
other two?
my favorite this week is Rams minus 3.5 at the Colts. That offense is just too good. Matt Stafford. Colts didn't look great against Seattle. I think the Rams are a lot better in Seattle. So the defense and their offense is just too good. So I'm going to take my favorite there with the Rams at minus 3.5. And my dog here. Jesus. My dog here is the Titans money line plus 200 against Seattle. I know they didn't look great, but they're going to bounce back this week. I think their offense is going to be very good. Titans do this all the time. Play terrible against bad teams, play great against good teams.
All the time, like the past 2 years.
Yep, it's annoying. I'm taking Titans here to sneak it out in Seattle plus 200. Derrick Henry has a huge game this week, I think. So Titans are my dog. So my favorites, Rams minus 3.5. Dog is Titans money line plus 200. And then my lock of the week is the boys, them Cowboys, plus 3.5 at San Diego. Oh, the Chargers.
You think you have them winning or just covering?
Covering plus 3.5.
Okay.
I just think Dak and them, they're going to put up points. It's going to be like the Bucs all over again. Mm-hmm. So I would, I'm confident that they can win the game, but for me, I'm just going to take the spread here at plus 3.5. Lock that in.
Locking in right now. My lock is Patriots minus 5.5 against the Jets. I thought this spread would at least been a touchdown or more. I think the Patriots, I know they lost against the Dolphins, but that defense is very good, and they'll shut down the Jets. I think the Patriots win by a touchdown, 10 points or more in this game. I really like this 5.5 spread. And we didn't talk about the over-under. It's 43. I'm actually going with the under. I think the Jets score like around 10 points. And the Patriots aren't scoring 33, so I like the under in that game. So my favorite is Broncos minus 6, Bengals money line, Patriots minus 5.5 is my lock.
Perfect. So my favorite then was Rams minus 3.5. Dog was Titans money line. And then I got my lock of the week, Cowboys plus 3.5 at the Chargers. And that is going to wrap up this episode of Pickem. We'll release these every Sunday, just kind of going overviews of each game, and we will get started. We won't get started. It's just every morning, Sunday morning, released video, audio, everything. So go check it out. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
See ya.